Let's begin with the first section of our lecture, trauma to face. And in this, we will talk about the soft tissue injuries and the fracture of the upper third of the face. How we will manage the soft tissue injuries and the fractures of the upper third of the face, and what are different fractures that involve the upper third of the face, and what are different bones that are involved in the fracture of the upper part of the face. So let's begin with the section 1. Trauma to face usually involves both the soft tissues or the bones, or both soft tissues or the bones. Here if you see, this is the involvement of the soft tissues of the face. There is swelling and bleeding, and all this is due to the involvement of the soft tissues. So it can involve the soft tissues or the bones, or in some cases both soft tissues and bones can be involved. Due to mainly these injuries or trauma to face, the cause of this trauma is automobile accident or roadside accidents are common cause of these injuries. Management can be the general management and soft tissue injuries and their management, and bone injuries and their management. So we already said whenever there is trauma to the face, it can be soft tissue, bone, or both. So if both are present, we will manage the soft tissues, we will manage the bone, and we will also manage the general condition of the patient depending on if there is any problem in the breathing, pulse, all that can be managed separately. So general condition is managed, and then the specific soft tissues and bones can be managed separately. So this is the picture that gives the very clear involvement of the soft tissues. General management of the patient: airway obstructed by loss of skeletal support, aspiration of foreign bodies, blood, swelling of tissues secured by intubation and tracheostomy. So in the general measurements, if there is involvement of the airway, if the airway is obstructed, obstruction of the airway can be due to injury, there is loss of the skeletal support, if there is fracture of the bone, damage to the bone, and it can cause the involvement of the airway, that should be managed. Then we should, if there is any foreign body, that should be removed, and the swelling of the tissue should be treated. And in the meantime, until the recovery of the airway, the intubation and tracheostomy is performed. Hemorrhage: if there is hemorrhage, it should be stopped by pressure or by ligation of the bleeding vessels. So that's another very important management point in the general management if there is bleeding or hemorrhage. Then associated injuries: if there is injury to the head, chest, abdomen, injuries of neck, larynx, cervical spine, or limbs, all these injuries are treated and managed accordingly. So all these are the steps that are performed in the general management of the patient with the trauma. Soft tissue injuries and their management. Injuries can be like facial laceration. Here you can see laceration is the tearing or torn skin here. It is usually repaired by suturing. So facial laceration, cleaned of foreign material. So before suturing or before treating, it should be cleaned properly to remove any foreign material that can be present. close by approximation of layers. So proper approximation of the layers is important. If there are edges are not clean and they are ragged, we should cut the edges, we should clean the edges, and then proper approximation is done of the layers. Parotid gland and ducts injuries, these are the parotid glands and ducts. Here any face injury can involve the parotid gland also. So this area, this is the parotid gland and the ducts. Repaired by suturing, polyethylene tube 3 days to 2 weeks are placed in, and once the healing is complete, it's removed. Facial nerve injury, if there is any, exposed by superficial parotidectomy, so opening of the removal of the parotid gland, parotidectomy. So it is facial nerve is below that. So for exposure of the facial nerve, we should do the superficial parotidectomy. Approximated with different suture sizes, 8-0 and 10-0 silk. Under magnification is used for suturing of the facial nerve. So we use silk thread 8-0, 10-0. Under magnification, it's very minute area, and superficial parotidectomy is performed to suture that facial nerve. So all these are the injuries which are the soft tissue injury that can occur with the facial trauma. Bone injuries and their management. Division of the face. We should know the division of the bones or the divisions of the face, what different bones make up which portion of the face. So first, upper third. The upper third is above supraorbital ridge. These are the supraorbital ridges above the orbits, above the eye. So supraorbital ridges, these are supraorbital ridges. So this is upper third of the face, above supraorbital ridge. Middle third is here from between supraorbital ridge and upper teeth. All this portion here is the middle part of the face. Above the supraorbital ridge, that's the upper third, upper part of the face. Then from the supraorbital ridge here to the upper teeth, this is the middle face. And then the mandible, and this portion is the lower third, which is mandible and lower third teeth. These are the lower teeth, and this is the mandible or the jawbone. So all these are the three divisions of the face, making upper third, middle third, and the lower third. You can see the damage and the fractures of the bone with the facial trauma and injury. Facial fractures, fractures of the face, we have upper third, again middle third and lower third. What are the different fractures that occur in these three parts of the face? Upper third, frontal sinuses are present in the upper third. So we have frontal sinus fractures, supraorbital ridge fracture, and frontal bone. Frontal bone is that makes the forehead. So that's the upper third of the face. Then in the middle third, we have nasal bones and septum, naso-orbital area, and then zygoma, zygomatic arc that gives the cheek structure, facial bones. Then we have orbital floor, maxilla is the upper jaw, maxilla. Then we have Leaford 1, these are the different fractures, transverse, Leaford 2, pyramidal, and Leaford 3, craniofacial disjunction. So all these are in the middle third of the face. In the lower third, usually the mandible is involved in the fractures of the lower third. We have alveolar process, symphysis, body angle, ascending ramus, condyle, and temporomandibular joint. All these are different parts of the mandible. We have the body angle, then ascending ramus, condyles, and temporomandibular joint. Here, where the temporal and the mandible joint joined together. So all these are different fractures that can involve the face. Fractures of the upper third of the face, and we already mentioned the structures involved the above the supraorbital ridge. So mainly the frontal bone is involved, and then frontal sinuses are present there. So these are the bones which can be damaged in the fractures of the upper third of the face. Fractures can be fracture of the frontal sinus, which can anterior and posterior wall fracture of the sinus, injury to nasofrontal duct. Then we have supraorbital ridge fracture, which can cause ecchymosis, is bluish discoloration. Ecchymosis is bruises. Eyebrow flattening and proptosis. One is flattening, proptosis is the bulging or protrusion. Impacted bones may need open reduction. So if bones are impacted, or there are small pieces of the bone or they are stuck, they may need open reduction. We have to open and treat or reduce the bone. Frontal bone, this is all the frontal bone, forehead, depressed or linear fractures are present with or without the separation. These are all the fractures that can occur in the upper third of the face. Here you can see this is the upper third of the face, and this is the fracture present. Extend to orbit. The frontal bone fracture can extend to the orbit. Brain injury and cerebral edema can also occur because the frontal bone is very closely associated with the brain, so it can cause damage to the brain and the eyes and cause cerebral edema. Require neurosurgical consultation. So after the fracture is repaired, it needs the neurosurgical consultation and treatment by the neurosurgeon. So that was all about section 1. Thank you for watching sqadia.com.